Is the prime location public housing at King George Heights worth it?
Let's find out.
I'm Ivan.
And I'm Sean.
And today we're going to be talking about this prime location housing at King George Heights and is it going to be worth going for it at all? But first of all, let's talk a bit about what is actually prime location public housing.
Yeah, so this is actually a scheme that the government have announced a couple of months back, right? Is to actually make the central location housing or HDB
more affordable.
But of course, making it more affordable means that there is a potential for high profits, and so they do not want people buying into this public housing with a purpose of profit. Because of that, they've came up with a few restrictions.
Like for example, 10 years MOP period. So you need to be staying in the place for 10 years and you cannot fully rent out the HDB, right? During this period. You can only rent out rooms provided you're staying in it, of course.
Yeah, and this is actually permanent, so which means that even after the 10 years MOP period, even the rent out or you have intention to rent out your entire home, that cannot be done. So technically it's a forever handcuff. So of course the number two big thing is actually the resale value. So basically when you sell it, they will actually claw back
6%.
Yeah, 6%.
Yeah, 6%. For the current project is 6%, but subsequently it may be increased or decreased.
Yeah, that's something that we do not know yet, right? But that is something that I will not be surprised if they actually do so, because I think their whole intention over here is that they want the buyers to basically buy and live there for their lifetime. I think by looking at this, it's definitely that is the whole solution of it, right? I mean, that's what they're trying to achieve. I do not know, what do you feel about it? Do you think that is something that is kind of achievable even as a normal family?
What do you mean?
Okay, so basically as a couple, I think most of the time people apply for BTO, they are in 20s. Yeah, and I don't think that they were planned long enough or far enough to even know how many kids they will be having. And not to mention, of course, it's not that uncommon to have accidental pregnancy, right? In that scenario, that means
use protection, Sean.
That not everyone do that, right? I mean, let's be honest over here. Some have planned for one kid but end up with 2 or 3, correct? So when they apply for a 3-room HDB,
so basically just apply for the 4-room HDB to be safe.
Yeah, but they might not get a 4-room HDB. At the end of the day, and then there's limited quantity of 4-room, and there's of course the rest are 3-room. So it's very common. So in this scenario, if this scheme is going to be 5 years to build and another 10 years MOP, I think the probability of someone regretting a choice of a 3-room is going to be very high. Yeah,
so basically, because this project, is the estimated completion time is about the Q3 of 2027. So it's 5 years later.
It's 5 years later.
I mean, so in other words, to be safe, you're trying to buy a unit here, just go for the 4-room HDB flat.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one consideration that I think the audiences, of course, you're planning to actually apply for something like this. You need to really take that into consideration. Yeah, the problem of this is a 10-year MOP. The 10-year MOP, you gotta plan very far ahead. If you think today that you're gonna have 1 child, I think it's better to just go for 4-room. Yeah, of course, that being said, there are still limited 4 rooms available, which means that, and given the last scheme, actually there was an oversubscription of about 3 times, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, which means that this will likely also achieve the same result. So the probability of number 1 getting this at HDB is not easy. Alright, and number 2, I think you really need to look really far, and I think just for sanity's sake, just go for the 4-room.
So when we are looking at this public housing, prime location housing, right? Yeah. I think the first thing that we want to look for, is it even worth it to be buying, right? So you can actually check out the HDB website data, which are going to bring up over here. Is that yes? When you compare with a 20-year-old HDB in the same area, the price gap is already more than 100,000.
Yes.
So and this is a 20 years gap. So yes. I would guess that if you mark it to roughly about the same age, the difference may be about 200k.
Yeah. Yes. Which means that technically think about it. I mean, if you are patient enough to wait 15 years, and if you choose to sell it afterwards, yes, there will be clawbacks. Alright, but even with clawbacks, I think that the potential profit will still be at least 150k, might even hit close to 200k. By then there's going to be 15 years worth of inflation, right? So in terms of ROI, I mean I really don't like to talk about ROI when it comes to HDB, right? But in this scenario, I guess it's pretty much certain, alright, that you'll make a profit. It's just that the profit will only come in across the next 15 years.
Yeah, the catch is the 15
years, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the key thing over here is that if you somehow is still thinking of, I mean, it's for next 10 years during the MOP, I get to stay in somewhere that you really love, the location. At the same time, I mean, at the end of 10 years, I still make some money, alright, in that scenario. I think maybe this could be an option. I think this could be an option for those that have very limited resources in the first place. So BTO is still one of the best choice. I think I make my first pot of gold as well through my BTO as well. I didn't go in with the intention of making profit. Yeah, but the end result is that I still made a profit, and that gives me a very comfortable pot of gold in the beginning to actually upgrade to, of course, my next housing. In that scenario, I was fortunate enough that my business did decently. I mean, I went to invest in a few other properties, and of course, I consolidate all these profits to then buy into my landed property. But even so, even if you just make 150 grand, 200k, that it comes in cash, right? And cash, right? That puts up a very decent down payment for probably future 3-bedroom condo in maybe the outside city region, and that can be a very comfortable sum to upgrade.
So I'd like to summarize what you said, right? Which is that if you're someone that's starting out with limited capital, then going for this prime location housing can be a very good thing.
Can be.
So if you're going to be starting out with like some medium amount of capital, right, where you know that 5 years later or like 6-7 years later, there's a potential for you to upgrade to a condo, then my take is that it's actually better to go for a normal BTO instead.
Yes, but I mean, if I really put logic to think about this whole situation, right? I mean, we have about 5 years to build, 10 years for MOP versus the regular HDB that is not within this PLH scheme. That is 5 years to build, 5 years MOP. So you're looking at comparing really pretty much 10 years versus 15 years.
It may take like 4 years or 3.5 years to build for the normal BTO in the future.
Yeah. So we are talking still a 5 years difference between these two.
Yeah,
six, maybe 5 to 6 years difference, right? So the key thing over here is that, of course, matured estate, if you really look at it logically as well, right? I mean, the profitability of it is also around the 100k to 200k range. So if you're really looking at it from an ROI perspective, I would rather go for the matured
normal
HDB estate.
Matured normal HDB estate
schemes, right? As compared to this scheme, right? So the only reason why I'll probably choose this scheme, right, is because perhaps you feel that you're going to save a significant amount maybe in transportation. Yeah, on time. Right?
Like for example, if I'm working in the CBD, traveling from this King George to CBD.
If every month you count like, hey, I'm going to save like $150, man, or 200.
If you're going to be taking like Grab, all those, it may be even more than 500 a month. If you have a couple, then it's like 500 each. It's going to be 1,000 a month.
Yeah, that's going to be 1,000 a month, right? Then 1 year is 12 grand, right? 5 years is like 60 grand. Right? And then maybe I think that in the ROI perspective might make sense. If not, then if I really want to have a balance, I'll definitely go for mature estate because the competitiveness is the same. If this is going to be like 2x, 3x oversubscribed,
this is actually less competitive in the sense that in future, even if you buy it, you still cannot fully rent out the HDB.
That's true. That's another big factor to count. So once again, I think in summary is that you're looking at it from a potential ROI perspective. It's good, but I think the normal scheme HDB is better. You guys will still make profit, right? And you get to cash out earlier, and you get to upgrade even earlier. If you are looking at housing or your property as zero form of profitability, then you don't really care about profits when it comes to your own home, then perhaps I think
a home for the convenience.
Yeah, but I just want to let you guys know as well is that what I thought 10 years ago is very different from how I think today.
What do you mean by that?
When I went to my BTO, I had zero intention for profits. But today, as I grow older, right, and I get more exposed, right, to through work, through my friends, through my network, then I started to think about, hey, should I actually sell my home? So what could be suitable for you today might not be the same in 10 years later. So you got to really ask yourself this one question. Yeah, and I think that myself, I went through a very big change. So in 10 years ago, me and today I'm a very different person on how I think as well. So sometimes it's good to think far ahead. Just sit around, think about it before you actually click a button to subscribe for this scheme. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit deep.
Talking about subscribe, right? Make sure you subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up.
Yeah. So all in all, I think I'm more in favor of the matured estate. And before this scheme drags out towards all HDB, which I will not be surprised if this happen in the near future. I wouldn't say even distant future, I would say in the near future.
Well, I totally agree with you, because HDB is meant to be a home meant to be affordable for everyone, and not meant to be a profit center.
Exactly, yeah. So before this expands outward, into the RCI region, that means your Ang Mo Kio, your Bishan, right, and even to your Punggol in the future, who knows, right? I won't be surprised if that happens. So if you guys are sitting on 3 BTO now or not, and you feel that BTO is really the way to go, and then they might want to do it sooner than later, before this scheme really stretches outward and put you guys at a 100% handcuffed to a 10-year MOP. Yeah? So guys, I hope that you guys gotten some value, a little bit more clarity into should you actually apply for such housing or not, and what it means to you. Alright, so if you've gotten some value, do like our video, of course subscribe to it, and we will give you guys more valuable insights, okay, moving forward as well.
Always be learning. We'll see you again soon. Guys, bye!